Hello, welcome. In this video, we'll be going over some of the changes for next Pinkbean run in order to improve and make sure that we clear for next run for Teaparty. Alright, so I'm going to get started. So the theme for next run is that we're going to try to minimize the number of unnecessary deaths. If you've been watching these videos, you have the knowledge to know what to avoid and the animations to keep aware of. Now I just hope that you guys practice that mechanical skill to make sure you're very aware of what your character is doing in relation to what the boss is, in order to minimize the deaths, increase our damage, and ensure that we have the DPS to clear. I'm sure we do have the damage to clear. We just need to make sure we're not dead and not being able to deal the damage during that time. So, I'm going to get started for the summary for the video. We're going to be talking about the changes to resurrections, making the bishop's shield on the right burst seduce animation rather than right away. The priority of statues during stage 4 and 5, just going over it again to make sure it's more extra clear. And then we're going to talk about the transition between stage 5 and main body when we're focusing down the right bird for the final time. And finally, I'm going to go over Pinkbean aggro control so you know how aggro is working and how you can work together with the Buccaneers to make sure that it is constantly right facing and to avoid the seduces and genesises. So first thing, we're going to talk to the changes to resurrections. So last run, we asked you to leave party right away if you're dead and type 1. This run, we're going to try to res you in party, so don't leave immediately. If you are told to leave party, it's likely because the bishops in your party doesn't have resurrection up, or if it's a multiple death situation. If there's a multiple death situation, then it'll be done out of party, and the res bishops this time will be forming party, not the dead people, because we found it a little bit confusing last run where we didn't know who formed the dead party. We're just going to have the bishop that is resing to form the party. So once again, just dead people leave party, type 1, get ready for the bishop's invite. Alright, so I'm going to talk about Bishop shielding on right bird seduce animation. Last run we shielded right away. This time we're going to shield when we see the seduce animation to maximize the time of our holy shields. And once again, reminder for our attackers to play defensively when your shield is gone. Be ready to rope dark side barrel. It could be improved for the next run because I noticed that people were not willing in time and taking touch damage when as you're jumping into statue. And so I'm going to go over a few clips of our TL shield during stage 4 and how it's going to be different, and then I'm going to go over an example where a faster roll would have been done and would have been much more safer for the run overall. So this is a clip of during us in finishing stage 4's right man, and then we're about to go attack the right bird. So as you notice, we made a call out to attack the bird together, and then the bishop shielded. In our next run, we're going to only shield when you see the right bird seduce animation come out. And when that happens, we begin the party swapping, which can be seen here, where the bishop leaves party and the designated buck leaves party, and it is formed. So you see here, Kira is adding all of the bishops into the res party. This will happen for the next run too, so all the bishops will join this party, plus the buck. Once the party is of 6, the TL will be cast, and then you guys will go back to your own parties and wait for the next seduce animation before shielding. And make sure if you're 200 buck in this party and you're about to be TL'd, make sure you just re-echo so we have a fresh echo for the dead people and just fresh echo overall. And then, so now they're being added back to their own parties. And then when the next seduce animation happens, then you shield. So, okay, so that's it for this part. So I'm gonna go over, so this is when our second shield is about to run out and it's ticking down. My shield's a little bit longer than some of the other party members, but you need to be careful and keep a track of your own shield. And when that shield is off, make sure you keep your finger on a dark side or will to make sure you're able to play defensively because there isn't that much reaction time between the seduce and you jumping into this bird. So you got to be very careful. So yeah, seduce will happen. See if you can spot it. So seduce happens here. Here we have a few seconds. Some people are roping, which is really nice, but make sure to will if you're jumping to the left. In this case, we are jumping to the left, so you would ideally will out of here before you take 2 times touch damage, or if you're ranged, taking any touch damage could be fatal. But this is also why the entry of order matters. As you can see, that it was mostly heroes and shadowers, and none of the range got seduced. But the future seduces could just as likely be the range party as well. That was a banish animation. I actually got banished this run, so I got to see that banished map. All right. So I'm going to keep going. So now I'm going to talk about the priority of statues during stage 4 and 5. So for stage 4, we're going to have, and at the end of stage 3, we probably just finished killing the right mans, and we're crossing all the way back to the left. Here we're going to have the Bowmasters and any other people who are prone to dying to DRs. Either you don't know what the animation is, you're not familiar, or you have died before to DR, and you're not confident in hitting the right bird, left bird, and make sure you focus the left man instead. We rather you stay alive than dying here. And everyone else who's able to hit a bird during DR and is aware of DR finishes his bird. If the bird DRs and cancels and you're not allowed to hit anymore, then we all focus left man. So stage 5 is not much different. Same thing. We're going to be doing this, except that once the left man dies, these two cast a spell. Once the left man dies, range hits the aerial and cleave hits left bird. So watch out for dispel. And just note, when you're climbing up to go hit aerial, be extra careful. I don't want people jumping arcs and then potentially missing this rope because you're not sure where you are or you don't time the up button in time. And if you take touch damage, you might die. It does like 20 something K damage. So just walk over to the right, jump straight up, climb the rope, then go over here. It's just a lot safer. And for mages, I know you guys might be worried about like taking care of the mini beans and stuff, but make sure you keep an eye on Ariel. So if it casts a spell, you're looking and ready to magic guard yourself. Because last run we had an instance where a dispel occurred and a Genesis landed, resulting in a few mage deaths. So now I'm going to talk about the transition between stage 5 and main body. For our run, it was a bit messy because we had the right bird cast a seduce, causing a lot of people to go left and leaving only a few members to attack right bird. But essentially what I want to see happen is that when I make the call, I want range to go left of the throne statue. So like over here to be safe, and cleave, including Buccaneers, finishing off the right bird together when there's only a sliver of HP, and then which then Pinkbean will spawn right over here, and then the Buccaneers will snatch it into position. Ideally, we're going to snatch it into the edge of the left platform and the broken pillar, so it'll be around here. Um, yeah, so now I'm going to talk about pink bean aggro. Sorry for the wall of text. So I'm just going to go over a few of the points about pink bean aggro and what we think could help us make sure we keep pink bean on the right facing. So we learned that for this patch, pink bean is a bit more proximity based rather than knockback based. So if you are too close to the pink bean, even if you don't hit it, it might aggro onto you when it's wandering. So I want you guys to be extra aware during DR or like when Buccaneers aren't able to control it, that you are careful and you keep your distance, unless you're bombing, of course. And if you do take aggro, and a telltale sign that it does that you do have aggro is that if it follows the way that you go, so if you immediately cross and it starts facing left, that means that you probably have aggro, or that you can knock back it with one of your skills. It means that you have aggro for the thing. So make sure you are crossing back to the right side or staying on the right side if you have aggro until it's taken over by someone else. If Cleave takes aggro, cross to the right side until aggro is regrabbed by the Buccaneers. Sorry. And so during DR, so just what's going through a Buccaneer's head during DR is that Buccaneers will want to barrage it every attack to ensure that aggro holds. We aren't able to safely snatch it every time because if we do snatch it, we might insta-die because of the DR damage plus touch damage if the snatch comes to touch. So we're going to be barraging it every other or every attack that Pinkbean does. So make sure you move back and you give it enough distance so you don't accidentally get caught in the crossfire when it does. And when it comes off of DR, don't be too eager in hitting it right away, because if you do hit it right away and the Buccaneers not able to maintain the aggro in that moment because we're rotating snatches or something, you might accidentally take aggro. So just let the Buccaneers move it back to home, which is between the right edge and the bottom platform, before engaging it, in attacking it. And sometimes in voice chat, we'll call out Pinkbean is wandering, and what that means is that Pinkbean is doesn't have aggro. It's going to be walking left and right, kind of like skipping and not attacking. In that moment, if something hits it, it's very prone to taking aggro to whoever hits it with a hard hitting move or a move that has knockback. So just be careful when that happens. All right, so I'm gonna go over a clip of where we were able to hold aggro correctly, even though the Buccaneers messed up a bit in the aggro control. So that was me. So see if you can catch the DR happening. It's gonna A call has been made out in voice chat. The DR timer is up, so we can cast DR at any time. See if you can catch the DR. So you see the DR now? Okay. So now it has entered deer, and as a Buccaneer, I'm going to be hitting it between every attack to make sure I hold aggro. So people over here just got to be very careful because it's going to be likely coming to around this area because of all the barrages. So I'm gonna barrage it one more time. I'm asking for a snatch aggro transfer, but since some attackers are attacking here, you can see it wanders for a second and then it's gonna start casting on the left, which means that it has aggro on to somebody on the left side. In voice chat, a call was made for cleave to go cross to the right side, and luckily the cleave did cross to the right side, and we were able to take back aggro once the Buccaneers were able to get in position to grab aggro again. So sorry, you can't see that from this perspective, but that's what happened. And just don't beat this truck. And finally, just a reminder to make sure you pay attention and listen to the voice chat and listen to your party leaders and listen to people. So if people are giving you feedback for something during the run, it's likely for a reason. And as long as we listen to it, respond quickly, we should have a nice and easy clear. Good luck, guys, and I hope to see you guys on Sunday.